Happy morning and welcome back, my dear students. Welcome to the next session on environmental activities and the activities of the Nature Club, delivered by our beloved professor Sri Narayan Rao Armane sir. There are few words for me to explain what our sir is. And the passion, the love, the care he has towards Mother Earth is similar to what you see in a 2-year-old kid showing the love to his or her mother. Sir, wholeheartedly, on behalf of BNMIT, it's my pleasure welcoming you to our induction program to talk to our students. And I'm sure our students will get many more chances when they come here, interact with you. And I'm sure, my dear students, our sir is nothing less than inspiration to you all. Sir, once again, I wholeheartedly welcome you on behalf of BNMIT to our induction program. Over to you, sir.
Happy morning, my dear students. I'm extremely delighted to speak to you as part of the induction program arranged and organized by BNM Institute of Technology. It is my pleasure to share a few thoughts about the environment, about our responsibilities to the environment, and also what is it that you can at your level do for the environment. I greeted you as happy morning. This is what I do with all my students all these years. You may be wondering why I don't say good morning but happy morning. I have a very special reason because I want my students to be happy every day, not just on a New Year's Day or on a happy birthday or on a happy Diwali or happy New Year, but be happy on every day of the year, every morning. So I expect that henceforth when you are in the campus to greet each and every teacher, including me, with a happy morning. Probably by now you have had several induction programs and most of them must have touched on the current corona pandemic. I would not like to tell you much about it, but I have this thing to say. There are many people talking about many ways to combat this pandemic, but I for one would say instead of remedies, I want you to find that you yourself are totally immune, build your immunity, strengthen it, and ensure that you are fighting fit and that no coronavirus will ever come close to you. And for this, you need to be in a very sound environment. And we at BNMIT have a very special forum, the BNM Friends of Nature Club, which is celebrating its silver jubilee year. We are in existence from the last 25 years, looking after the environmental education, starting with tiny tots at 5th standard, continuing up to the graduate level, thereafter to the postgraduate level of MBA and also MTech. So you must be wondering what is it that you are going to hear today, and most importantly, I want you to see what kind of an environment our forefathers enjoyed, the environment they enjoyed and had great health. I'll show you a glimpse where you can see Earth in its pristine form. Wherever you go today, whether it is in the wilderness, in the jungle, or outside the city, you will not find that kind of an environment which your father or your grandfather or your forefathers were able to see and enjoy and benefit from it with great health. But there are still some pockets on this planet, luckily, which are still pristine, virgin forests, untouched by humans, but in very remote areas. our B&M Friends of Nature Club has put together a film picking up these pockets from famous and internationally acclaimed cinematographers who have worked on behalf of organizations like BBC Earth, and worked for the Discovery Channel, National Geographic, Animal Planet, and so many other natural history programs. This short documentary we have put together from our nature club of about an hour and a half, but today we don't have time for all that. I'll just show you a glimpse of how it looks, and thereafter we will discuss about what it all is about, and then you will get more opportunities later on when we are facing each other offline. We'll see lot more, and for you to understand how this earth was once upon a time. I'll take you over to the short film.
निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा गणनाथ सरस्वती रविशुक्र बृहस्पति पंचैतां स्मरेण नित्यं वेदवाणीं प्रभृतये विनायकं गुरुं वाणीं ब्रह्म विष्णु महेश्वरः सरस्वतीं प्रणम्याहम् सर्वकार्यार्थसिद्धये अभीष्टितार्थसिद्ध्यर्थं पूजितो यः सर्वविघ्नहरस्तस्मै गणाधिपतये नमः।
This is our planet's hothouse, the jungle, the tropical rainforest. Forests like these occupy only 3% of the land, yet they're home to over half of the world's species. But how do so many different kinds of plants and animals find the space here to live alongside one another? Often, the only signs of life are what you hear. A male bluebird of paradise is advertising for a mate. It's quite a performance, but he's not the only bird of paradise here keen to make an impression. There are nearly 40 different kinds on the island of New Guinea, each with a display seemingly more bizarre than the rest. A rifle bird of paradise. Like many jungle animals, birds of paradise avoid competing with each other, and these do so by living in different parts of this jungle-covered island. The six-plumed bird of paradise displays in his special clearing on the forest floor. The magnificent bird of paradise favors the low branches of bushes. His female is modestly dressed. The male has a good set of lungs, but he'll have to do more than flutter his eyelids if he wants to impress her. It'll all depend on his performance. The females may be dull-looking, but they're very picky. And it's time for a really close inspection. His right side looks fine, but what about his left? Pretty impressive, but is he magnificent enough? Oh dear, her departure says it all. Generations of choosy females have driven the evolution of these remarkable displays. The more extravagant a male is, the more likely he'll be noticed. What bird has the most elaborate, the most complex, the most beautiful song in the world? Well, I guess there are lots of contenders, but this bird must be one of them. The superb lyrebird of Southern Australia.
Welcome back, students. The person you saw on the last screen was none other than Sir David Attenborough. Many of you must have heard about him. He is the greatest naturalist and conservationist the world has ever seen. He works for all the documentaries. Recently, for an Indian documentary based in Karnataka, he has given his voiceover and enriched the documentary. We have seen a glimpse of a small pockets of virgin forest. Most importantly, you should understand these small glimpses of these birds of paradise, each lasting about 20 seconds or 25 seconds. Do you know what kind of effort went behind this? These people sat in the tribal areas of the rainforests of New Guinea with swarming insects, high humidity and drizzling now and then. For the 20-second clipping, they have spent more than 120 hours in a hide. Probably you know what a hide is, where you sit on a camouflaged tent without being noticed by the birds, and days on end. It has taken nearly about that 120 hours was of 3 to 4 hours every day. That means about 40 to 50 days they have spent just for a 20-second clipping. That is the kind of patience required when you want to achieve something. that apart, let us come back to the subject. You know, we are often told as to we want to save the tiger. You must have heard this slogan, this campaign, many times. But most importantly, you should understand why in India we want to save the tiger. Are there not many other equally animals which are on the verge of extinction? It is not just the tiger. But why? Why so much importance is given to the tiger? You must be wondering why. Let me tell you very important aspect as to why we think that we need to save the tiger. Let us come back, deliberate, and come back to this subject. Three very important components are required for our survival on this planet. They being air, good, clean air to breathe, pure water to drink, and also pure food. When we say pure water, it is not just for drinking, for ourselves and for other beings on this planet, but also for making our food, it is through agriculture. And for this, we need a perennial supply of potable drinking water. Perennial means availability throughout the year. What connection does this have in saving the tiger? I recall an article I wrote for the Lions International environmental magazine in USA, abridged from the article which was written, "What is the connection between the tiger and our daily drinking water?" I'll discuss this offline in detail when you are here in the campus, but I will show you a clipping as to why exactly we require to save the tiger. As you all know, tiger is at the pyramid, at the apex of the food chain. Maybe in India and places where the tiger is there, it is at the apex. Some other carnivore, maybe a leopard or a lion in Africa, or a puma or a mountain lion in the USS, America, North America and South America, the Siberian tiger in Russia, any animal, maybe the wolf in Europe, most parts of Europe, but whichever is the animal which is at the peak or at the apex of the pyramid, if it survives, it means that that particular forest is still having a balance where all the animals that go below in the pyramid are in good health. Likewise, if you take for the tiger, it being at the pyramid in India, if let us assume a situation where there is no tiger, once the tiger disappears, the animals on which it preys proliferate, means their population increases, and once they increase without control, they completely eat and the grass on which it survives, the trees and shrubs on which it eats and has its daily food will totally start depleting, and there will be a day when there won't be any grass cover, and when there is no grass cover, the soil becomes loose, the trees will start shaking and then get uprooted. So the ground cover starts disappearing over a period of time. I'm not saying it happens overnight, it happens over a period of time, and one fine day you see all bald hills. If you visit some of the places outside in the hilly areas, you will find them bald, hardly having any trees, hardly having any ground cover or even grass for that matter. Here, when the rain falls, the water washes away all the soil, and soil erosion happens to such an extent that the entire water takes away the topsoil and brings it down into the rivers. The river beds get filled up with water. The water will overflow the banks, cause floods, and the entire water will flow and go into the ocean. There won't be any water remaining in the non-monsoon season. But given the situation where you have the forest, The forest acts as a huge sponge. It absorbs water. Basically, what it does is the different level trees that we have reduces the velocity of the rain that falls down, and by the time the rainwater reaches the ground, the velocity is almost zero. That means it slowly caresses when it touches the ground. That means there is ample time for the ground to absorb the water. There is no runoff till the entire hill slopes absorb the water and get saturated. There won't be any flow off. So the entire hill is saturated with water. This water starts flowing during the lean season, non-monsoon season, and the entire water is not allowed to go away like in the previous case. So this ground cover has to be maintained for us to have the water. You must have observed when you visit the hill stations, at the height of summer you still find crystal clear water flowing down the hill slopes. Where does that water come from? It is this water which was saturated by the hill slopes, which keeps moving down by gravity into the entire year. By the time the water comes down to the ground level, the monsoon again restarts. So there is this continuous flow cycle of water absorption as a big sponge, then continuing throughout the year. But once we deforest it, the entire system gets upset and we don't have enough water even during the monsoon period, nor during there is continuous floods and drought situation happening. So therefore, the health of the forest is very important, and for that the animal which is at the apex of the pyramid must be saved. So that is why we say save the tiger. Okay, but now I'll just show you a small experiment where you can see what really happens and how whatever I have said converts itself into a very practical way of understanding how it happens in nature. We'll come back after you see this clipping.
이제 카메라 보이고 열 수 있을까?
Are you ready with your camera?
이제 레디 고.
And please pay attention to here.
You can see two troughs.
앞에 무슨?
One is without any vegetation, with only the soil.
Right hand side,
The same sized trough has got plants,
covered with moss.
and we are watering both of them through the same water can.
There,
You can see the outflow of water is total where there is no vegetation, and it also is collecting the soil, the eroded soil. Whereas in the other one, very little quantity of water is flowing out because the tree is absorbing, the ground cover of the soil is absorbing, and only the pure water is flowing out. This experiment you also can do at home and then know for yourself why forest is very important, why we need to have ground cover to ensure that we get pure drinking water and the rivers flowing throughout the year, and that is why we have to save the trees, save the forest. It is not for their sake, it is for our sake and our survival. When we allow nature to take its course, you will find crystal clear, definitely clear water in all the rivers, even in summer. This is there is ample proof for you to understand this. I am sure even if you don't do this experiment, you have understood what exactly happens in nature. In this is only a glimpse of what is happening around us, the devastation that is taking place. But now let us see what is happening to the environment, why it is depleting every minute. We are taking us closer and closer to an ultimate disaster. Already we don't have enough drinking water in many parts of the world. If I don't know whether you are aware, in many parts of Africa, today wars are being fought, village to village, district to district, country to country over water, not for anything else. And this is not going to subside any soon. This is going to become more and more. Wars will be fought in future only for sharing waters. There are many beautiful documentaries which I will share with you when you are here in campus. But it is not just the deforestation and the spoiling of the environment that is affecting us, but there are many things that are simultaneously causing the destruction. Most important among them is pollution and the carbon footprints, the global warming that is happening. You must be reading now and then about this, but for you to understand more easily and more completely, let us see exactly what is happening around us. The ozone layer depletion because of the continuous carbon emission, the global warming which is melting the glaciers, resulting in rising of the sea levels. Many islands are already submerged. Even our own islands in the Andaman and Nicobar, you take Maldives for example, many of their islands are already submerged. I don't know whether you are aware that Maldives is asking India to sell to it couple of islands, because very soon they are expecting many more islands and landed areas to submerge. Even the coastal cities are under threat. There are many beautiful documentaries which we will share with you later, but let us see what is happening. A glimpse I will take you around, because today we have very limited time, so we'll just fly through all these videos. So sit back and understand the impact of this video. We'll come back.
Climate change is actually happening, and this is just the beginning. आने वाले कुछ ही टाइम में सीन बहुत बुरा होने वाला है, क्योंकि हम अपनी हरकतों से बाज तो आ नहीं रहे हैं. कार्बन एमिशन बढ़ता जा रहा है एंड वी आर डूइंग नथिंग अबाउट इट. जस्ट टू गिव यू एन आइडिया, पिछले 10,000 सालों में धरती का टेम्परेचर बढ़ा नहीं है, बट सिंस द प्री इंडस्ट्रियल 19th सेंचुरी ये टेम्परेचर 1 डिग्री बढ़ चुका है, और अब बहुत तेजी से हम 1.5 डिग्री सेल्सियस की ओर बढ़ रहे हैं. 2 डिग्री पर पहुंचते पहुंचते थिंग्स विल एक्चुअली बी डिजास्ट्रस. यू मस्ट बी थिंकिंग कि 1.5 डिग्री सेल्सियस क्या होता है, ऐसा भी क्या हो जाएगा. टू पुट थिंग्स इन पर्सपेक्टिव, at 1.5 degree increase, Arctic ice will still be there during most summers. But just a half degree more और Arctic की summer ice पिघलने लगेगी. That means polar bears, whales, seals and seabirds will lose their habitats, mostly starve to death and go extinct. At 2 degree increase, urban population will be exposed to severe water shortage. Shimla, Bengaluru, Chennai, Delhi और कितनी ही cities में water shortage already शुरू हो गई है. एक तरफ severe droughts होंगे, while on the other hand sea level rise होने से coastal cities डूबने लगेंगी. Small island countries तो गायब हो जाएंगी. India and Maldives have already lost a few small islands due to global warming. 1.5 degree increase पर 6% insects, 8% plants और 4% vertebrates will go extinct from the face of the earth. वहीं 0.5 degree और increase पर ये numbers काफी बढ़ जाएंगे. And as we know, insects are vital for pollination of crops. That means in turn effect पड़ेगा हमारी crops पर. There'll be serious food shortage around the world. Extreme weather events की वजह से Indian farmers के suicide rate में increase हमारे सामने है, जहां 1.5 डिग्री पर almost 70 to 90% of coral reef will die. 2 डिग्री increase पर तो coral reefs ocean से पूरी तरह खत्म ही हो जाएंगी, जिसका effect कोरल रीफ पर जीने वाले माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म से शुरू होकर पूरी ह्यूमन सिविलाइजेशन पर दिखेगा। कोरल रीफ इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर प्रोवाइडिंग फूड एंड कोस्टल प्रोटेक्शन फॉर 500 million people worldwide. If they go extinct, that would mean coastlines will become more susceptible to damage and flooding from storms, hurricanes and cyclones. Tropical countries की तो वाट लग जाएगी. Basically, we'll not just have to adapt to one thing at a time. We'll be adapting to everything shifting at once. और ये सब बातें हवा में नहीं हो रही हैं. These are not hypothetical situations. This is the actual reality which is happening right now. We still have some time to make it less bad, but we really have to act right now. First thing to do is that those of us who don't know about this issue, let's educate ourselves and people around us.
Welcome back, students. So while we are at this, are you aware which is the second biggest producer of oxygen other than trees? It is the coral reefs. Coral reefs are not just something to do scuba diving and enjoy their beauty, to see the corals or to see those beautiful colorful fishes, but they play the most important role. The Great Barrier Reef in the northwest of Australia comprises about 40% of the world's coral reefs, and even 40% of the total coral reef oxygen is also produced there, and it is not kept for Australia, it goes all over the world. See, when we talk of environment, it is not just one country or two countries saving. It is the sum total of cooperation between all countries and all peoples that makes for a good environment. Let me share a very important aspect which the Americans closed their eyes to. As you know, America wants to preserve all their reserves, whether it is oil or forest. They want to exploit and explore and use the resources of other countries while saving it for themselves. This policy they have been following from a long time, but see how Providence plays the role, how nature plays the role. These people thought that it is a country where all the houses are predominantly built by using wood as the raw material. They used to procure wood from South America, Southeast Asia. But see what happened. You must be aware of all the typhoons and the cyclones that happen in the southeast part of America, the area around Florida and adjacent Japan also. All these hurricanes, and they came to know, is happening because of the lack of forest cover in Southeast Asia. That has got a direct effect on the occurrence of these typhoons and cyclones in southeast part of America. When they found out, they were flabbergasted. They did not realize that trying to deplete the resources of some other country, they will save their own and they will be happy for the future. But the nature has turned against them, and the researchers found out that the deforestation in Southeast Asia, especially in Indonesia, was the root cause for all these cyclones. Now they are giving massive aid to Indonesia to regrow their forest. So Earth cannot be seen in seclusion. It is a part and parcel of the entire planet. Whatever affects one part is going to have its repercussion in another part of the world. So therefore, we have to join hands with all people from all over the world and see that is why these summits are happening, where the carbon footprints are being asked, where the countries like USA, China, whose carbon footprints are very high, are being asked to reduce it in the interest of not only themselves but also the entire world. Dear students, we just cannot sit back and expect others to do this for us. We, especially you, my dear students, who are the future citizens, and the youth, both you girls and boys, have to take cudgels in your own hands and see what you can do at your own individual level. It is very important that your research is also towards finding ways and means of finding solutions for this. I'll show you a small clipping as to what you as technical students of technical language and engineering can do research and innovate so many things to help quicken or hasten the process of afforestation, reducing carbon footprints, reducing pollution, and so many ways you can think of conservation and reducing the ways in which we are losing out on our nature. So I'll show you a small clipping where the innovation is wonderful, worth emulating and worth improving and finding other ways and means.
We lose an acre and a half of forest every second. There goes another one. There goes another one. It's 15 billion trees a year. This drone gives us a way to fight back. This was invented by a company called Biocarbon Engineering. They're in Australia. It is a tree planting drone. It fires a tree bullet into the ground, right? Biodegradable bullet container, soil, nutrient-rich solution, little plant, driven by AI, so it gets fired precisely at the depth it needs to go to, in the exact position it should grow in. This drone can plant 100,000 trees a day. They're building an army of 10,000 of them. They can plant 1 billion trees a year. Technology is finally getting to the point where it's making a serious, serious difference in this fight.
You, my dear students, as budding engineers or aspiring to be budding engineers, what you can do to hasten this process of restoration. It is not just afforestation of the environment, improving the supply of water, reducing the carbon footprint, reducing global warming, and make availability of water a reality. But there is much more to this. What about pollution? Are we not polluting with plastics and chemicals? What about the effluents that are coming out of our big industries? Are we treating them? Are the government agencies doing justice? The Pollution Control Board, is it really serious about its responsibilities, or is it an eyewash? It is you people who have to keep your eyes open, keep a watch over what is happening around you. Today it is not troubling me. Why should I bother about it? Those days are gone. Now we have to think of not only ourselves but of the future generation. We have an obligation to the next generation. If tomorrow they ask you, what were you doing when all this was happening? You had plenty of water, even water to wash your car or wash your front yard and use water as you liked. But today we don't have water enough to drink. While this was happening, what were you doing? If your next generation asks you, what are you going to answer? So let us see another clipping where how the plastic garbage is almost choking us to death.
En los últimos días en la provincia y todo lo que está sobre el territorio es descargado tal como ayer sucedió.
Welcome back, students. Now you must be realizing what is it that you will get to eat in future. So don't allow that to happen. See that you put your best foot forward, and it is just not enough to improve the health of the environment and its resources. Not to forget that we are also and you are also a natural resource which has to survive. For this you need to take care of your health. Without health, no luxury is of any use. At this age you will not realize that health is wealth. But look at your parents, look at more so at your grandparents or your neighbors who are past 60. You will realize how important health is. If you don't want to depend upon anybody else in your later years, then you have to keep your health in the best way possible. Just to understand, God forbid that you don't have to visit a hospital, but even otherwise, being hale and hearty, it is our moral responsibility to visit a hospital or visit a cancer hospital or a regular hospital, or even for that matter a hospital like Niman's, where people with mental disorders are suffering. Just look at that. Then you will know what bounties you are endowed with. Especially, God has given you two eyes. Imagine, compare yourself with a person without eyes and then think how fortunate you are. 2 ears, your tongue to express your thoughts, 2 hands, 2 legs. Be grateful for the bounties that you have. Don't cringe for what you don't have. But most importantly, keeping good health is also your biggest responsibility. Let us listen to this wonderful lady who brings it in a nutshell. What is the most important aspect for a person coming to this earth, and what he or she has to do to enjoy good health and thereby enjoy everything else. Here I would like to share with you an incident which I just recently read. Probably you have also read it it must be viral. I'll just quote. After 93-year-old man in Italy got better in the hospital from corona, he was told to pay for a ventilator. I'll read it. For 1 day, and the old man cried. The doctor advised him not to cry over the bill. What the old man said made all the doctors cry. The old man said, I don't cry because of the money I have to pay. I can pay all the money. God has given me that. I cry because I have been breathing God's air for 93 years, but I never have to pay for it. It takes 500 euros for me to have used a ventilator for a day. Do you know how much I owe God? I didn't thank God for all these bounties in all these 93 years. Now you realize, if for a day he had to spend 500 euros, what he would have had to spend for 93 years. But we are never grateful, we are never acknowledging the bounties that we have received from this nature and Mother Earth. You can regain anything, but not your health. Money can buy anything, you know that. For good health, we need a good environment, and they are super linked. Let us hear this lady, which I spoke to you earlier, and understand what is so important for us more than anything else.
क्या आप हेल्दी रहना चाहते हैं? यस, ऑफ कोर्स। हेल्दी रहना कौन नहीं चाहता? एंड हेल्दी रहने के लिए आप बहुत सारे प्रयत्न भी करते होंगे, आप एक्सरसाइज करते होंगे, आप अच्छा डाइट लेते होंगे, बहुत सारी एक्टिविटीज हम हेल्दी रहने के लिए करते हैं, पर फिर भी क्या हम हेल्दी रह पाते हैं? तो स्वस्थ रहने के लिए एक सीक्रेट आज मैं आपके साथ शेयर करने वाली हूं, एंड दैट सीक्रेट इज योर माइंड। आपका माइंड आपके बॉडी के साथ इतनी हद तक कनेक्टेड है कि ये बात मेडिकली देखी जा रही है कि इस दुनिया की मैक्सिमम बीमारियां साइकोसोमैटिक है, यानी आपके मन की वजह से, आपकी नेगेटिविटी की वजह से आपको डिसीज हो रहे हैं, बाकी आपके बॉडी में कोई तकलीफें नहीं है। आपका मन बीमार है, इसीलिए आपका तन भी बीमार पड़ रहा है। इसीलिए तो कहते हैं मन दुरुस्त तो तन दुरुस्त। मैंने अभी अभी हेल्थ के ऊपर एक किताब पढ़ी जिसमें तो हर बीमारी के नाम लिखे हैं और उसके बाजू में उसके विचार लिखे हैं, जैसे ए से जेड तक, ए से आर्थराइटिस, बी से ब्लड प्रेशर, सी से कैंसर एंड डी से डायबिटीज, और हर एक के बाजू में विचार लिखे हैं कि ये विचार करोगे तो ये वाली बीमारी होगी, ये वाला विचार करोगे तो ये वाली बीमारी होगी। हार्ट की बीमारी आजकल बहुत कॉमन होती जा रही है। सबसे मेन इंपॉर्टेंट जो रीजंस है वो ये है कि आइदर अगर आपका स्वभाव बहुत ही सीरियस रहने वाला हो, आइदर आप बहुत ही गुस्सा करते हैं, एंड थर्ड आता है कि अगर आप बहुत ही सेंसिटिव है, छोटी छोटी बातों का आपको बहुत बुरा लग जाता है, आप दिल पे बात ले लेते हैं, तो डेफिनेटली जाते दिनों में ये आपके हार्ट को डैमेज करता है, एंड कई बार हार्ट अटैक आने के चांसेस इसी नेचर की वजह से बढ़ जाते हैं। तो दैट मीन्स इट इज सो क्लियर कि आपका माइंड अगर पॉजिटिव नहीं होगा तो आप कभी हेल्दी नहीं रह पाएंगे। मेरे तो बहुत सारे प्रोग्राम्स होते हैं बड़ी बड़ी हॉस्पिटल्स के अंदर, और हमारे हर वर्कशॉप के अंदर बड़े बड़े डॉक्टर्स आते हैं, एंड कई बार डॉक्टर्स भी मुझे ये बात कहते हैं कि हिमानी आपकी बात बहुत सही है, नेगेटिव बंदे को तो हमारी दवाइयां भी ठीक नहीं कर पाती। कई बार डॉक्टर्स मेरे साथ ऐसे भी जुड़े हुए हैं कि जो अपने पेशेंट को प्रिस्क्रिप्शन में लिखते हैं कि ये दवाई आपको सुबह शाम लेनी है, ये दवाई सुबह शाम लेनी है, और साथ में आपको करना है हिमानी का 2 दिन का हैप्पीनेस वर्कशॉप। वो प्रिस्क्राइब करते हैं कि आपके जीवन में दवाइयों से ज्यादा खुशी की जरूरत है। आज वर्ल्ड वाइड आपने एक चीज देखी होगी, द लाफ्टर थेरापी। आपने गार्डन में देखा होगा लोग हंसने को आते हैं। मैं तो कई बार जाके पूछती हूँ कि आप क्यों आए हो, तो बहुत लोग मुझे कहते हैं हमको तो भाई डॉक्टर ने भेजा है। क्योंकि डॉक्टर्स भी क्या कहेंगे कि तुम्हें हंसने की, खुश रहने की, अपने माइंडसेट को पॉजिटिव करने की जरूरत है। जब तक माइंड पॉजिटिव नहीं होगा तब तक आप कभी ठीक रह ही नहीं पाएंगे। एंड ऑफ कोर्स मैं खास कहना चाहती हूँ कि अपनी हेल्थ को आज से ही महत्व देना शुरू करो, क्योंकि अगर आपके पास हेल्थ ही नहीं है तो आपके पास जो भी सब कुछ है उसकी कोई वैल्यू नहीं है। एंड हेल्थ को अगर इंपॉर्टेंस देना है तो आपको इंपॉर्टेंस देना पड़ेगा अपने माइंड को। आपने प्लेसिबो इफेक्ट के बारे में सुना है? प्लेसिबो इफेक्ट मतलब क्या? कई बार हमें लगता है कि हमें सारी दवाइयां ही ठीक करती है, बट एक्चुअली हमें ठीक हमारा माइंड करता है। दवाई तो हमारे अंदर एक साइकोलॉजिकल इफेक्ट खड़ी करती है। प्लेसिबो इफेक्ट के लिए कई बार ऐसे रिसर्च हुए हैं कि जिसके अंदर एक ही बीमारी के 2 पेशेंट लिए जाते हैं, और एक को ओरिजिनल दवाई दी जाती है और दूसरे को एक ऐसी चीज दी जाती है जो होती है दवाई की तरह पर जिसकी बॉडी में कोई इफेक्ट नहीं होती। एंड जब दोनों वो दवाइयां लेते हैं और एट द एंड ऑफ द ट्रीटमेंट देखा गया है कई बार कि दोनों 100% क्योर हो गए। दैट इज कॉल्ड द प्लेसिबो इफेक्ट। क्योंकि जिस पेशेंट ने दवाई ली उसके बॉडी में तो असर होनी ही थी, पर जिसको वो दवाई नहीं थी पर कह के दिया गया था कि दिस इज द मेडिसिन, तो उसकी साइकोलॉजी ने वहां पे काम करना शुरू कर दिया, उसके माइंड ने वहां पे काम शुरू कर दिया, और उसके माइंड ने बॉडी में हीलिंग शुरू कर दिया। बिकॉज यस, आपके माइंड के पास है सबसे बड़ा पावर, दैट इज कॉल्ड ऑटोमेटिक हीलिंग सिस्टम। कई बार हमारे हाथ पैर में छोटे मोटे कट्स लग जाते हैं, हम उसके ऊपर कुछ भी नहीं करते और वो अपने आप अंदर से हील हो जाते हैं। ये जो सिस्टम है वो आपके एक एक सेल में काम करता है। दैट मीन्स आपका माइंड जब नेगेटिव होता है, यानी आपके मन में है गुस्सा, डर, चिंता, नफरत, एंजाइटी, डिप्रेशन, तो दैट मीन्स माइंड बॉडी के अंदर पॉइजन जनरेट कर रहा है। आपका माइंड आपके बॉडी को बीमार बना रहा है। एग्जैक्टली उल्टा, जब आपका माइंड खुश होता है पॉजिटिव होता है वो यही बीमारियों को क्योर करना शुरू कर देता है। कई बार लोग मेरे पास आके बहुत उदास होकर कहते हैं मुझे इनक्योरेबल बीमारी हो गई है, तो मैं उनको कहती हूँ कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस। कहते हैं मैम आप पागल हो गए, मुझे इनक्योरेबल बीमारी हो गई और आप ये रिएक्शन दे रहे हैं। मैं कहती हूँ अगर आपको इनक्योरेबल बीमारी हुई है दैट मींस इट इज अ गुड न्यूज फॉर यू, क्योंकि इनक्योरेबल मतलब क्या? इन मतलब अंदर से, क्योरेबल मतलब ठीक होना, यानी आपको अंदर से ठीक हो सके ऐसी बीमारी हुई है। कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस। सो अगर आपको कोई ऐसा डिसीज है डरिए मत, बहुत ही हिम्मत से काम लीजिए, अपने माइंड को पॉजिटिव बनाइए। आज मैंने बहुत सारे मिरेकल्स देखे हैं। हमारे वर्कशॉप में कई बार लोग ऐसी टेक्निक्स को फॉलो करते हैं और बहुत सारे डिसीजेस को उन्होंने ठीक किया। वर्ल्ड वाइड में कई बार बहुत सारे ऐसे रिसर्च को पढ़ती हूँ तो मैंने यहाँ तक देखा है कि कई लोगों ने अपने कैंसर को भी क्योर किया है। मुझे तो लगता है कि अगर इस हीलिंग सिस्टम के ऊपर, पॉजिटिविटी के ऊपर अगर फ्यूचर में काम किया जाए तो हम वर्ल्ड वाइड लोगों की हेल्थ में बहुत बड़ा सुधार ला सकते हैं। पिछले 7 साल से मैं इस फील्ड में हूँ। ये सारी थेरापीज जैसे रेकी, माइंड पावर, मेडिटेशन, हीलिंग, ये सब कुछ मैं लोगों को सिखाती हूँ और खुद के ऊपर भी फॉलो करती हूँ। तो मैंने एक बहुत बड़ा रिजल्ट देखा है कि पिछले 7 साल में मैंने एक भी दवाई नहीं ली है। 7 साल पहले मेरी भी कुछ लाइफस्टाइल ऐसी होती थी कि छोटी छोटी बात पे हेडेक हो गया तो ये दवाई, स्टमक एक हो गया ये दवाई। बट आज रिजल्ट इतना सुंदर है कि मैं इतना ट्रैवलिंग करती हूँ ट्रेनिंग फील्ड की वजह से। महीने में कई बार 20-20, 25-25 दिन नेशनली और इंटरनेशनली मुझे ट्रैवल करना पड़ता है। इतना हेक्टिक शेड्यूल होता है। बट रिजल्ट मैंने देखा है कि जब से मैंने इस थेरापीज को फॉलो करना शुरू कर दिया तो मेरी हेल्थ और भी बेहतर होती जा रही है। मेरा ये गोल भी है कि जितना हो सके उतना मैं मेडिसिन फ्री अपने आप को रख सकूं और ऐसा जीवन जी सकूं। और यही चीज मैं आपको भी सिखाना चाहती हूँ। मैं मेडिसिन के खिलाफ नहीं हूं, पर मैं उन आदतों के खिलाफ हूं जिसमें लोग छोटी छोटी बात पे मेडिसिन पे भरोसा रखते हैं। उनको लगता है कि अगर मैंने ये दवाई नहीं ली तो मैं ठीक ही नहीं हो सकता। वो खुद के माइंड के ऊपर, खुद की हीलिंग सिस्टम्स के ऊपर भरोसा करना छोड़ देते हैं। एंड ऑफ कोर्स अगर आप दवाइयों के आदी हो जाते हैं तो ये दवाइयां भी आपको बहुत नुकसान पहुंचाती हैं, क्योंकि कहते हैं अगर कोई मेडिसिन की साइड इफेक्ट्स ना हो तो उस मेडिसिन का आपके बॉडी में कोई इफेक्ट ही नहीं हो सकता। दैट मीन्स आप एक एक दवाई जो लेते हैं डेफिनेटली वो आपके डिसीज को ठीक तो करती है, पर आपके बॉडी को धीरे धीरे वो खोखला भी बनाते जाती है। तो भगवान ने इतनी सुंदर अगर हमारे बॉडी में हीलिंग की रचना की है तो क्यों ना उसी को अपनाया जाए। तो आज का मेरा मैसेज यही है कि सबसे पहला अगर स्वस्थ रहना है तो अपने मन को स्वस्थ करो। इसीलिए तो कहते हैं नो पॉइजन कैन किल अ पॉजिटिव थिंकर एंड नो मेडिसिन कैन क्योर अ नेगेटिव थिंकर।
How did you like this, students? I'm sure you have taken a lot of positives out of this. Most importantly, if you have observed or if you have spoken with your parents or grandparents, there are many people, illiterates, when they fall sick, they go to a doctor. Even if the doctor says you are all right, there's nothing wrong with you, they are not happy. Please give me a prick. And the doctor, without any medicine, with just glucose water, he will give a prick. And that person is cured within a day. That is psychosomatic treatment. It is a feeling that some treatment or a prick or an injection has been given which makes them mentally prepare their body to face the situation and overcome it. So this is what, in just what I have seen practically about what this wonderful lady is speaking to us, and very important for you to have a positive thinking. Do meditation. Meditation means don't have to recite any shlokas. Meditation means keeping silent for couple of minutes every day. I also say to my students, whenever you enter the examination hall, don't carry notes, don't carry important things, formulas, and keep moving into the examination hall. Many times you will dash against people, and I know you may even get hurt. So don't do that. Last 10 minutes before you enter the exam hall, sit in one quiet place, close your eyes, meditate and go. You will do the best way possible. Don't get disturbed. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Somebody will say this is important, that is important. Did you study that? If you have not studied, you will spoil your mood, you will spoil your mind, and whatever you know also you will not be able to write. So don't do that. Concentrate, meditate, and then be with yourself. Don't be with anybody else for some time during the day, every day. In small measures, if you do it, it will become a big thing for you. Anyway, it is nice. You also should know that at BNMIT we have this yoga. Yoga we started 15 years back. Though AICT and VTU has asked us to make yoga part of the timetable couple of years back, we have been doing it from long time. So also this nature activities, environmental program has become a part of the curriculum and made compulsory last couple of years. But we are here talking to the students about the environment and our responsibilities towards conservation, adventure activities, trekking, going to the wilderness, showing care for the other less fortunate creations of God from last 25 years. So this is a place where we are way ahead of others, and I want each one of you to take benefit out of this, what the college is providing for you. We have spoken and discussed about the environment, conservation, pollution, carbon footprints, global warming, mental health, physical health. Let us go one more step. What is it that our youth should practice today? When everything is in place, we are healthy, we have got our parents to have put us where whatever we are today, I mean you, wherever you are today, it is all because of what your parents have done for you. And I want you to keep track of every rupee that your parents have spent for you. Give the value that it deserves and repay back. You cannot repay back this lifetime for what your parents have done for you, but only thing you can do is be what they want you to be, a successful, healthy student, engineer, and more than anything a good human being and an asset to the society, automatically to the house and to the college. Here a small clipping for you as to what you should keep in mind at this bubbling, very active, energetic part of your life, this age between 17 to 20, just when you approach the end of your teens and enter into the second decade. So let us have a small clipping, beautiful and like nobody else can tell us and make us understand. Here it is, our own Sadguru.
What is it that the youth needs to concentrate on, but they have not yet?
In India, the mango farmers have some wisdom in them like this. I have been a mango farmer in the past. Just after 12–14 months after planting, if it's a well-grafted plant, within 14 months, flowers will come when the season comes. First thing we do is we'll pluck off the flowers. If you leave it, a few mangoes will come, but we will take it off. Next season again the flowers come, we'll take it off. We will wait for the plant to grow because we know If the fruit comes out of that plant will never grow into a full-fledged tree. It will not bear as much fruit as it could if it bears too early. So this is something youth must remember. Don't try to live too early. This is the time where you build yourself in body, in mind, in competence, in capability. You build yourself. Time to live will come. If you live too early, then you will see you will not live a full-fledged life. So right now, we have imported this from Western societies. By the time you're 14, you must have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. By the time you're 18, you have had 3 heartbreaks. Where the hell are you focusing on building yourself? These things are taking so much time and energy. Build yourself up well if you want to live well. So, there is a certain time to grow and there's a certain time to live. If you live too early, you will not grow. And if you don't grow, the scale and scope of your life will be very limited. That should not happen to you.
Welcome back, students. Are you still fresh? We have another 10-15 minutes more. Bear with me. As we progress, you will get to see better and better clippings. Okay? Now, we have gone through all this as I enumerated. How can we have a good family life? Caring for each other, enjoying the togetherness. Let us listen to a great man made for India and its future. I will, without much ado, will directly go and see and keenly listen what he has to say with an example.
ಸತ್ ಶ್ರೀ ಅಕಾಲ್ ಜಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯ ಯುವ ಪ್ರಧಾನಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳೇ, ನೀವು ಭಾರತೀಯ ಯುವಕರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಒಬ್ಬ ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಕೇವಲ ಕೇವಲ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಯುವಕರಿಗಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲದೆ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದ ವಿವಿಧ ಭಾಗದ ಯುವಕರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ದಿನಕ್ಕೆ 20 ಗಂಟೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋದು ಇದು ಸಣ್ಣ ವಿಷಯ ಅಲ್ಲ. ನೀವು ಸುಸ್ತಾದಂತ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಕಾಣೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಶಕ್ತಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ನಮಗ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಯೋಗ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ. ನೀವು ನಮಗೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಹೇಳಿ, ಆ ರೀತಿಯ ಶಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಳಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ದೇಶದ ಹಿತಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಮುಂದೆ ದೇಶದ ಹಿತಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ನಿಮ್ಮ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ.
ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಹಲವಾರು ಉತ್ತರಗಳಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಒಂದು ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಖುಷಿ ಪಡುವಂತ ತಮಾಷೆಯಾಗಿರೋ ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಹಿಂದೆ 20 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ, ಸುಮಾರು 20 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ಪ್ರತಿದಿನ 1 kg 2 kg ಬೈಗಳ ತಿಂತೀನಿ. ಆದ್ರೆ ನೇರವಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ನೋಡಿ. ಒಂದು ಹಳೆ ಘಟನೆ ಬಹುಶಃ ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿರ್ತೀರಾ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಹೀಗೆ ಒಂದು ತೀರ್ಥಕ್ಷೇತ್ರ ಇತ್ತು, ಒಂದು ಪರ್ವತದ ಮೇಲೆ. ಆ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಒಬ್ಬ ಸಂತರು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರು. ಒಂದು 8 ವರ್ಷದ ಹೆಣ್ಮಗು. ಆ ಮಗು ತನ್ನ ತಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಹೆಗಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೂರಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಿಧಾನವಾಗಿ ಬೆಟ್ಟನ ಹತ್ತಾ ಇದ್ಲು. ಆ ಸಂತ ಆ ಮಗುನ ಕೇಳ್ದ, ಮಗು ನಿನಗೆ ಸುಸ್ತಾಗ್ತಿಲ್ವಾ? ಆ ಮಗು ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಡ್ತು, ಇವನು ನನ್ನ ತಮ್ಮ ಅಂತ. ಆ ಸಂತ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕೇಳ್ದ, ಅರೆ ನಾನು ಅವ್ನು ನಿನ್ಗೇನ್ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಏನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಾನ್ ನಿನಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ನಿನಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಸುಸ್ತಾಗಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ. ಅವನ್ ಎತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಿದೀಯಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಮಗು ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ಲು, ಅವನು ನನ್ನ ತಮ್ಮ. ಆ ಸಂತ ಮತ್ತೆ 3ನೇ ಸಲ ಕೇಳ್ದ, ಅರೆ ನಾನ್ ನಿನ್ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲಮ್ಮ, ನಾನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಈ ರೀತಿ ಎತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋದು ನಿನಗ್ ಸುಸ್ತಾಗಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ. 3ನೇ ಸಲ ಆ ಮಗು ಹೇಳ್ತು, ಸ್ವಾಮಿಗಳೇ ಇವನು ನನ್ನ ತಮ್ಮ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ತಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಎತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಸುಸ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ. ನನಗೋಸ್ಕರ ದೇಶದ 125 ಕೋಟಿ ಜನ ನನ್ನ ಪರಿವಾರದವರು. ಪ್ರತಿ ಕ್ಷಣ ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ತನನ ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ತೀರೋ, ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಸುಸ್ತಾಗಿ ಬಂದಿರ್ಲಿ, ಮಲ್ಗೋ ಮನಸ್ಸಾಗ್ತಿರ್ಬೋದು, ದೇಹ ನಿಮ್ ಜೊತೆ ಸಹಕರಿಸದೇ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಆದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಫೋನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ನಿನ್ ತಮ್ಮನ ಮಗನಿಗೆ ಏನೋ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ, ಆಸ್ಪತ್ರೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ಸುಸ್ತೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಯವಾಗಿ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸ್ಕೂಟ್ರು ತಗೊಂಡು ಓಡ್ತೀರಾ, ನೀವು ರಾತ್ರಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅವನ್ ಸೇವೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತೀರಾ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವನು ನಿಮ್ಮವನು. ಸುಸ್ತು ಮಾಯವಾಗಿ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಜಾಗೃತರಾಗ್ತೀರಾ. ನನ್ನ ಜೀವನನೂ ಸಹ ಪ್ರತಿ ಕ್ಷಣ ಶರೀರ ಬಿಡಿ, ಶರೀರ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ಸಹಜ, ಆದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರತಿ ಕ್ಷಣನೂ ಏನ್ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮವ್ರಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಕೆಲವು ಸಾರಿ ತ್ರಿಪುರಾದಿಂದ ಯಾವುದೋ ಸುದ್ದಿ, ಕೇರಳದಿಂದ ಯಾವುದೋ ಸುದ್ದಿ, ದೆಹಲಿಯಿಂದ ಯಾವುದೋ ಸುದ್ದಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಗ ನನ್ನ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ, ಎದ್ದೇಳು, ಓಡು.
Dear students, there's a lot to learn from these few minutes. We had a privilege to hear our most respected and lovable Prime Minister, his outlook towards life and towards each and every citizen of this great country. If we think of India's tradition, India's culture, how our Upanishads, Vedas and our forefathers thought about this great country, it is the only country which has faced so many invasions but still held its own. And this is why we are so strong mentally and famous, earned name for the country all over the world. This is where the very foundation which separates the grain from the chaff and puts our countrymen on this very high platform wherever they go. If you look at America today, almost all the biggest companies are headed by Indians. The day will come when this will increase, and among you we can see a future CEO. But keep in mind what our Prime Minister says, our Atmanirbhar program, and what all you learn at BNMIT will keep you in good stead and allow you to climb this ladder, and sky is the limit. So all these programs, some of them are being prescribed by the university. I'll show you 2 clippings where they are asking us to do, but we already have implemented these programs long back, and continue to do so, not just because university says, but because BNMIT feels that it is must and an integral part of shaping your career and making you into a good human being. So these are the things which university says, but it is part and parcel of our program from a long time, which you will experience when you are here in the campus. So let's, without much ado, we will go back to the next level. Now, I want you to look at the various activities of our nature club in a nutshell. All the students are automatically members of this nature club, unlike other clubs here which you take up by choice. The nature club is part of everybody. There is no choice. Everybody has to sit through the nature club activities. That is different, that whether you take more active part in different activities of the nature club is up to you, but basics is there for all students, and I am sure you will enjoy every moment of every activity that we have for you in the nature club. Shall we take a look? Banta? Close.
Sir, next video play Sir, next video. Sir, ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. Next video
play ಮಾಡಿ. Eyes and ears open. Open means not to hear but to listen. Your ears are once you are on the field, your ears are meant for listening, not for hearing. Hearing is different from listening, you know that? You know it, isn't it? So, you must listen. If you start speaking, you can't listen. And when you listen, you will see so many things that you have never heard before. You will hear and then you can see. When you do bird watching, is to remain silent. If the birds have got better hearing, 20 times better hearing than you. So even before you hear the birds would have heard you in case you start speaking. Same case with the animals. Some of the animals have got 100 times better hearing capability than us. So most of the time you people say, sir, we went to the forest, we didn't see any animals. You will never see. The reason is, you make so much noise that as soon as the animals hear you, they run away. They will not stand there or wait for you to see them. That is why you should not make any sound while you are in the jungle. That's the most important thing. If you want to see something, you should keep quiet. Because we are the intruders. We are going into that place. So we should not disturb them. Isn't it? We should enjoy the scenery, we should enjoy seeing the animals, the birds, without disturbing them. Otherwise, they'll say, who is these people who are coming to worry us, trouble us, disturb us? Why should we see them? Why should they see us? We'll go away. That's what happens. That is why, if you remain silent, then you'll be able to see lot of birds and animals. You understand? Now, whenever we see a bird, I will show you how to identify. Early morning, you can only identify the bird because you can't see them in the poor light. You can only hear them and identify them.
ಕೊಡಿ ಸರ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಬೇಡ. ನಾನು ನೋಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಇವಾಗ ನೋಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೊರಟು. ಇರಿ ನಾನು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಹೇಳೋದು ಕೇಳಿ. ನಿನ್ನೆಯಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ವಾ ಸರ್, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಡ್ಯೂಟಿ. ಅವರು ಎಸ್ಎ ಬರಿಬೇಕು ನಿನ್ನೆ ಬಂದದ್ದನ್ನು. ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಎಸ್ಎಗೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅವರು. ಯಾರು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಎಸ್ಸೆ ಬರೀತಾರೆ ನೀವು ನೋಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಎಸ್ಸೆಗೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಅವ್ರು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ.
had so many treks, both in jungles and in the caves. We had bird watching trails, and the most wonderful part of the trip was the whitewater rafting in Dandeli. It was in the river Kali. It was just mind-boggling and totally out of this world. And we've also been to many amazing places like the anti-poaching camp in Mandipur and the Avalanche Uti camp and also Muttodi. You know, the list can just go on. And each of these places has been so amazing, especially the river crossing, the rappelling, all this along with the scenic beauty of these places has helped us connect to nature at a very different level. I enjoy these trips. I love the nature camp and I can't wait to go for the next trip.
Children, I don't know how much you liked, but I'm sure each one of you would have liked, and also you would like to be a part of all these activities. Let us meet in the campus very soon. But before I conclude, let me tell you a few facts. Let me share with you about our cultural forum, Kala Bhagirathi. Kala Bhagirathi, as you know, is the cultural forum which encourages the students to participate in the VTU Youth Festival. There are almost about 35 to 40 disciplines in which our students take part, and we have fared extraordinarily well right from inception. In 2004, we were 6th in the state, where more than 200 colleges participate, and from there onwards we have never looked back. We have always been in the top 5, and in 2010 and 2018-19 we were number 1 in the state, and last year we were runners up. Why am I telling you this in the environment class? It is only to make you students understand not to hesitate to put your hands up and be counted. Don't feel that you are not as good as to represent the college. Everybody has the potential to do well. If you have the passion and still think you are not up to the mark, we are there to groom you. We have our Kala Bhagirathi coordinator in charge, Professor Sesh Prasad, who will identify whatever is required for you to come to the top and represent the college. It need not be that you should be already proficient. More than being proficient, we want you to be passionate. We want you to have that zest and the inbuilt interest to represent the college. Everybody will get an opportunity. There will be a lot of competitions which will lead to the selection for the Kala Bhagirathi team, and no inferiority complex will be entertained. Everybody has got an opportunity. Showcase your talent. If you are best, you will be immediately selected. If you are second best, you will be trained to become first best. If you are third best, maybe in the second year or third year you will come to the college team. But there should not be a lack of effort. If lack of effort is something which is not liked by the college, so make it a point to see that you are also counted, come forward and see that your inherent talent is nurtured and you help the college to keep its flag high. Once again, I want to leave you with my piece of suggestion. You can take it as suggestion or an advice. Build your immunity. Don't bother about what to do if you are affected. Make sure that you are not affected, and maybe 99 out of 100 are not affected. Maybe a coincidence, but I don't want you to rest on coincidence. Make sure that you are free. Make sure that you are not affected, and for that the best solution is follow the rules, follow the guidelines, and most importantly, build that inner strength of mind and body and improve your immunity. Take care of your health and be active in online programs put together for you by your dedicated team of the fraternity of faculties at BNMIT are leaving no stone unturned to ensure that you get the best. Probably you are not aware that an international organization has certified BNMIT as among the best in India and internationally for discharging online education. Probably that certification you can see in the website or when you come to college. Their effort is to make you one amongst the best of engineers sought after by the top companies. Take care and goodbye. I end this session with a song in the name of environment. So until we meet next, bye-bye.
We need to wake up. We need to wise up. We need to open our eyes and do it now, now, now. We need to build a better future, and we need to start right now. We're on a planet that has a problem. We've got to solve it, get involved and do it now, now, now. We need to build a better future, and we need to start right now. We need to build a better future, and we need to start right now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for being part of this wonderful session. And the messages from students is that they want to have more and more sessions like this. And I want to tell them that once you come offline here, you will have tremendous amount of opportunities with sir to talk with him, to understand how you have to look at the nature. And thank you for encouraging them in every aspect, sir. And I have to tell one more thing, that every time when we hear sir talking, it encourages us as faculty more and more to work for the organization and institution. I'm sure our students will also have the same thought, and it is very evident from all your messages. Thank you, dear students. And I wholeheartedly thank our secretary, beloved secretary, Sri Narayan Rao Armane sir, for this wonderful and an amazing session. Thank you, sir. And dear students, the next session link is available to you in your Outlook mail. So please go through it and join our next session by 11:15. Thank you all.